Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on folks. It's man all the way George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube, folks. This is a busy day for me. Back-to-back interviews. About to end out the month like that. When I started the month, I had back-to-back interviews, but I try to be busy and active as much as I can. Folks, as we know, can you believe it? July is just about over. God, it seems like we just started
Mhm.
2025. We're almost into another year. Time flies, folks. It's flying. So, folks, here I have a lovely lady here who's covering me today for interview. She is an amateur bodybuilder, and also she is a United States veteran. So, to my veterans, I don't say thank you for your service. I say, as a citizen, I appreciate the sacrifice you made for this country. We have the lovely Mrs. Kathleen ValkyRican James, and it's the name ValkyRican. We'll talk about that a little later. So, folks, we welcome her and thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me.
Not a problem. You're welcome. So, ma'am, this is a question I ask you ladies often. What got you started in this sport, if I call it muscle and masculinity? Please share.
So I honestly, I started out powerlifting first. I was all about powerlifting. I'll tell you about a little backstory. I honestly knew nothing about it until I got married to my current husband. I was married prior. I was into like P90X and getting real skinny. Muscles wasn't my thing. And I got married in 2016 to my current husband, and he's a power lifter. He decided one year, you're going to be a power lifter too. And so I was like, okay, great. So I did that from 2018 to about 2021. I started looking at bodybuilding. I had a friend that had done it. I was like, you know what? Maybe I can do this. I had already a good base, frame, I thought, from the powerlifting, a lot of muscle. And I just transitioned over and I immediately was drawn to it. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Started in November of 21 with the coach, my first coach, and did my first show in 22. And I was hooked. I, I can't say I love one more than the other. I love them equally for their own things, but I love it.
Well, quite a few ladies I've interviewed start out in one different sport or another, especially powerlifting. The aspects of powerlifting and bodybuilding are totally different, but it is where you do have to do a lot of lifting. But with powerlifters, it's lifting more for competition. But with bodybuilding, they lift for to build and develop their bodies.
Mhm.
And I know one lady told me why she left for powerlifting because the injuries, because sometimes it can be a strain on the body, especially you lift the
Yes,
heavy
it can.
weights. Yeah. What was your record and what was your best performance?
So I currently hold the all-time world record for females 148 pounds at 474 pounds. So I did that. That's my best bench. And then my best deadlift is 455 and my squat is 560.
You strong. That's all I can say. I remember when I was in high school, I used to lift weights and I was doing like 450 in squats, 350 in bench press, uh, deadlift. I think I was doing 500, but that was when I was much younger man, and now I'm a broken down old fat guy, so I can't do it like I used to. If I pick up the some grocery bags, I'd be worried about. But
I think we're both at that point though, because even though I do all that, you pick up one little light thing the wrong way, and you're like, oh, my back, my back.
yeah, and see me also I have an issue here. I have a pacemaker, so
Oh, well,
yeah,
there you go.
yeah. I had a heart attack just before my 40th birthday. So yeah, that
Geez,
was I was like
thank
almost
God you came out from that.
yeah. It wasn't like I said, it wasn't like you ever seen someone have a heart attack like oh like for example, hey, I'm coming to this. It was just I felt like it was just like having a cold. Everybody's
Wow.
situations are different, but so you did a powerlifting for quite some time, and your husband, what's his name, and how long y'all been together?
His name is Tim. We got together back in. I'm horrible with dates. He's the one that normally knows them, so I know. We got together probably about 2014, and then we got married in 16, and we've been together since. But yeah, I honestly I didn't know anything about powerlifting. He was the powerlifter. I would go to his meets, And he would hear me say every once in a while, "That's cool. I'd like to try that." But I never, you know, I would not have put myself in a competition. He got my registration, got me signed up for a meet, and he was like, "Oh, by the way, you're gonna do this meet with me." And I was like, "Say what?" um, I did it and I won. I won best overall female lifter, and I was like, "All right, we can do this."
Well, I know that's the thing is couples that, especially in bodybuilders. I just interviewed a gentleman, him and his wife are both pro bodybuilders. It's good to find that commonality in the
Yeah.
sport you share, but sometimes it can be, like things like, especially if you're on prep and you're training, and sometimes it can be a little bit, yeah, 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 yeah. It can be antagonistic at times, but it's good that you both found a passion y'all both share. Is he still
Yeah.
powerlifting?
Yes, he is. He is.
Mhm.
He still competes. He doesn't compete as much anymore. Just with age, injuries. And he's the type of person that he'll get an injury and he'll be like, "We'll nurse it. It'll feel a little bit better." And then he goes right back to training and it's never fully recovered. And then he hurts himself again. So he's hard headed.
I'm always say a hard head makes a soft ass. So, yeah, but that's good that he still do as much he feel like he can do. And especially when you get older. Because I can tell you, like, I'm getting to the point where I'm like, ma'am, I'm just some days I get up in the morning, I just feel like I just can't keep on going. I'm 50. I'm gonna be 51 in November.
Mhm.
Soon I'm just going over the hill. So,
Yeah.
so what was that experience like? Your first competition in bodybuilding?
It was, I was I was nervous. I was nervous as hell. When I was getting ready, getting the tan, I was like, "All right, I guess this is really happening." Um, I was petrified. I grew up on the stage doing like musicals and stuff, so I thought I'll be fine. But once it was totally different. Once I got up on that stage and those lights were so bright, and I was like, I'm about to die. But the adrenaline got me through. I was very nervous, but it was awesome because there were other females there that I was competing against. They were seasoned, had done this for many years, and they made me feel very welcome and very comfortable.
Yeah, that's good because you know what, this is a different situation compared to powerlifting. You're mostly lifting weights. You got a nice little sling, a t-shirt on, something like that. You're not too exposed. But then with bodybuilding, you're on the stage. You're pretty much half naked, covered in
Yes.
oil and tan,
Yep.
and then you're wearing this little suit that's just enough to cover your kibbles and bits. You know,
Yes.
you know, and it's just like on the other side, you had the guys who wear banana hammocks and board shorts,
Yeah.
and it's a different level. I've talked to ladies where their first time, like they just got nervous. Some just got sick. When one lady told
Mm.
me sometimes she got a little tipsy when she took the stage. But it's an experience that I think that it really tests your mentality, how you feel, especially you got there on the stage and people looking at you and you got to be judged.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely a different experience than powerlifting. Like I said, I was super nervous. The thing with the little tiny bikini, I was like, that I'm very modest for the most part. So romping around in a little suit, I was like, "Oh my god, I don't know if I could do this," but I did it and I loved it. It was great. I had a very I did it locally in Daytona. It's probably about an hour or so away from where I currently live. So I was fortunate where I was able to have family and friends come out there to support me. So knowing that they were there, listening to them cheer me on, it was helpful and motivating.
Yeah, that's good. That's good that you have support from family and friends. Most I've talked to some ladies that sometimes when you get to sport, at first their family and friends, especially their parents, don't understand it because you're doing something that's not very traditional. That's not where all women do. And
Mhm.
what's your ethnic background, your family background?
We're Puerto Rican.
I, mommy, blah. Oh, I got me a pretty weekend here. I got the, oh yeah, y'all special breed, y'all special breed.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, I think because that's a very traditional kind of, ethnicity, because of the background. I think, especially, I talk to ladies from Mexico and Chile and other countries where they're very machismo, as they might
Yeah.
say. and you're doing a sport that's seen very masculine in a way.
I think because they were already used to seeing the powerlifting side, um, when I transitioned and they saw this, they actually took it as, oh, that's yes, you're putting on muscle, you're getting bigger, but you're still very feminine and it's ladylike kind of in a sense. You know, you look beautiful where, you know, powerlifting, you don't look beautiful. You look hideous when you're lifting.
Yeah, like you gotta think about you squatting to it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then you're on stage. You know, you look nice. You got your makeup on. You get your suit on. Your hair is done, and so she looks so pretty. And
Yes.
the next time your mom see you at the powerlifting show, baby, don't turn your face like that. It just doesn't look right. Come
Yeah.
on.
And of course, when she sees all the weight, she's like, oh my God, you're going to hurt yourself. You're going to this, you're going to that. And whatever. I did it
Well,
anyway, obviously.
well, like I said, our mothers, like I said, my mother's been gone for some time, and they are the ones who really love and support us, whatever we do. It may not something they like, but it's good that
Yeah.
she respects your decision in life. So anyway, earlier, so I said that you were a veteran of the United States military. What branch and what was your position?
So I started out in the Army. I was air defense, a Patriot missile crew member. I did that straight out of high school. Graduated and shipped off, did that for a few years. I was married. I got married in the Army, got divorced in the Army. I got out and was a civilian for a while. I did medical, started as a medical assistant, did that for a hot minute. And then decided that I wanted to go back in, and I was going to go back into the Army. I wanted to do medical there, but they wanted me to go back to my old MOS, and I wasn't willing to do that. I didn't want to be Patriot anymore. I had already spent so much time in the medical field that I wanted to stay medical. So I went and I talked to the Navy recruiter, and I said, you know what? They'll take me. I didn't want to do Navy full time, so I just stayed with the reserves until I was done with my time.
Yeah.
So I was a corpsman in the Navy.
Yeah, the Navy and Army are two different branches, but they serve equal purpose to protect our country, to help
Yeah.
our citizens. I when I was younger, I was interested in the Marine Corps, but I wasn't built for it. Just the running wasn't for me. And I got two of my oldest niece and my youngest nephew served, and I respect their service and their time in the military and the Army. And like it's tough, especially a woman being because women, I think there's a little bit more allowances now than it used to be back in the day, but things are changing
Yeah.
over time, and also the dedication and the work ethic of the military kind of melds a little bit with your bodybuilding.
It does. It does. I like that military way of life. I try to not do it too much here at the house with my family, but it's in my head. It's who I am. My husband's in the well, he's in the Air National Guard right now. He has a civilian job as well. But he's in the military. So we that discipline, that respect, that order, it's there. We try not to be too hard on our kids, because I still want them to have a, fun life, but there's gotta be structure.
So your husband in the Air Force.
Yeah.
So you get 5-star meals and get to travel the world.
Yeah. When he did, so when he left about, I think it was about 2 years ago, he was gone for about 6 months. And the way that he was living his lifestyle there, I was like, they baby y'all.
Yeah, I know quite a few people who know people that are in the Air Force, and some people who tell me, hey, you get to have nice meals, you get to go to the movies like that. While
It
the
is.
Marine Corps, you get to eat crayons, and if you're Army, you get to eat beans, and if you're Navy, well, you have to worry about some guy named Don. He wants to be a Don Juan, on that
Yeah.
boat. A lot of guys, I used to pick up this guy I used to work with. He was in the Navy. I was in the Marine Corps. We just talk junk to each other, but yeah, I remember both Navy and the Marine Corps are pretty much brother and sister. You might say brothers, So
Yeah.
now, what's going on now? Because it seemed like you hadn't been. I think I saw something a while back that you had a setback.
I did. So in 22, I did the Iron Life, and then I went to get my pro card in 23 in the universe, and I missed it by one spot. Still stings, but I knew what the feedback was. I always have issues with my glutes and my hammies, which I think at this point now we think we're there. But I was going to do another show in 23, but I had gotten a pro invite to a powerlifting meet in New York. It's a 9/11 meet. I had been doing it for a few years prior. I love that meet. That is the one meet that I'm like, I don't care what I'm doing, I'm going because it means something to me. It was in that meet though that during my third squat, I was trying to squat 600. I unracked it. I was like, oh, I got this. It felt light. I went down and I got a little loose and my right knee caved in. It popped that in. They lifted the weight up and popped up and I got up and it hurt, but it wasn't like this excruciating pain. I was like, okay, well, maybe I just popped my knee out a little bit. So they took me back. They checked my leg out. We wrapped it real good, kept some ice on it. I continued with that meet. I benched. I did deadlift on one leg because by the time it got to the deadlift part, my right leg was starting to hurt me. So all the pressure was on my left leg while I was deadlifting. I won that meet with that injury. Still not sure what was going on. We got back to Jacksonville about 2 days later, and my leg was the size of like 3 legs. It was huge. So at that point, I known that I did something wrong. It wasn't just my knee popped out and popped back in. So I went for an MRI, and I completely tore my ACL. I strained my MCL. I broke my tibia and fibia in 4 spots and completely shattered the tibial head.
Good God.
Yeah.
Shit. I can say shit.
It was bad. So they I had to have surgery. They waited until all the bones healed, and the injury happened in September. November 21st is when I had the surgery. They were okay with having the surgery. The bones were pretty much at that point where they're strong enough where we can do the surgery. Did the surgery November 21st, and then all that next year I rehab, and then the December of last year of 24 was my comeback show. I went to the Mel Chancey Holiday Classic, and I killed it there. I won overall at that one, and I was like, all right, I'm back.
Yeah, it reminds me of an old song. This show called Hee Haw. He say, "If it wasn't for bad luck, he had no luck at all." I mean, I can tell you, I got 2 bad knees. It's arthritis because I'm getting older now, and it's a genetic. I tell you, there's times where I just feel like I'm hip hop. I'm like walking with one leg sometimes. But yeah, I mean that's tough. And you kept on going. But most people say, you know what? I'm done. I'm going home. I'm going to ask my knee. I'm going to call the doctor. I'll be all right. But you kept on going.
I had gone to New York to do that meet, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. I was like, if I got to do it on one damn leg, I'm gonna do it on one damn leg. And so I've got videos too where I'm doing the bench, and you can see the knee. I'm stable. The knee caves in again, and I push it back out while I'm benching. And I told my husband, I was like, all right, I think I'm good. We're good. I set a record at that meet as well. And then he was like, what do you want to do about the deadlift? I'm like, well, I've already done everything else. So I couldn't do anything impressive. I think we did 350 on a stiff leg deadlift. I was in so much pain at that point, but I was like, we're going to do this because I want to see what I can accomplish with one leg.
Maybe favorite old school wrestler said, like, son, you better kill me before I quit. So,
yeah, I wasn't gonna. Nope. Wasn't gonna.
Yeah. And that show was The Iron Life. Here she is with the late Amy Richardson, a beautiful lady. I actually saw her a few years ago before she passed. It was Savannah. I wish I had talked to her. That's one of my greatest regrets. I wish I had talked to her. Amazing physique. I think she's going to, the next following year, she's going to make her women's bodybuilding debut, but then she passed away because she got sick. And that was an experience for you, But at the Regent show, now you are, nationally qualified.
Yep. Again.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. So we're right now, I haven't officially started prep. I am at the end of my off season. And prep should start here in a couple weeks because we're going back to Vegas in November.
So you're gonna do the
Masters USA.
Master USA, yeah. I think I know a couple ladies doing that show. You know, it's a great opportunity. It's also if you don't get it, you think you want to do the national championships in Texas?
So we had talked about that when I'm sponsored by Gorilla Labs, and they're out in Texas. So that was one show that we did consider doing versus the one in Vegas. I talked to my coach. He was like, let's just do Vegas, see how it works out. And, the Texas one is just a couple weeks, I think like 2 or 3 weeks later, maybe. If I've got the funds, we can do that one. If not, we'll see. But I'm trying to just do Vegas and get it done.
Yeah, you better have the money, honey. That's the thing about this sport, because
who you telling?
Yeah, it's a conversation I have your ladies. It's like I said, compared to the guys. Yeah, I said again, all they gotta do is put on a pair of banana hams and boy shorts and tanning, and just maybe just shave their head or maybe put some mousse, and that's it. But for y'all ladies, it's more of a cost. You have to have presentation. You must be, combine two factions, muscularity and femininity. You have to have your hair done, your makeup done, your suits, right there. That's right there. That's somebody's rent or their car note. I mean, it's expensive to compete for women compared to men. And
yes.
Also, your coach, who you working with right now?
So right now I'm with Patrice Mason. He's in Atlanta with Forge Steel Fitness. My husband and him go way back for years. And right after the injury, I talked to him and I was like, you know what? I still want to do, I want to do bodybuilding, but I want to go a different way with a different coach. And he was like, let's do it. And he's got, and I like him because he's not just a bodybuilder. He was a power lifter previously as well. So he understands my love for both of them and doesn't give me shit, when I start talking about powerlifting and telling me, well, you're just a bodybuilder now. I'm not. My heart is still over there as well.
Well, like I said, there's a lot of ladies who do both. Do powerlifting and do the bodybuilding. One lady who I follow, Angela Yo, she used to do a good bit of it.
Yeah.
I think some others. I think there's another lady. I think I'm back in my head. She still does it.
Hunter Henderson. She transitioned over.
Yeah, Hunter Henderson. Also for a friend, Brianna Terry.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard that Hunter might be doing Tampa. This next weekend.
Yes, she's in peak week right now.
Yeah, I think Brianna might be doing the show. I think it might be the new show that's coming out also in Vegas. It's the Steve Carr show, and they have women's bodybuilding, or she might be doing physique. I don't know per se, but she can go either way. But I think everybody finds something about each sport that they love about it. It's not easy, especially the training, the dieting. I know there's times especially you got kids at the house, and kids don't want to eat no broccoli and rice and dried chicken.
Now, the little girl, she likes to eat my prep, and I'm like, I weighed this, go away. So I'll make a little bit of extra for her. But my boy, no, he is not about the broccoli, rice, and chicken. He's talking about let's have some pizza, let's this and that. But I don't deprive them of things just because I'm eating the way that I'm eating. There's snacks in the house. I try to keep them more on the healthier side, but they've got their unhealthy snacks. They've got their stuff. It's just I have to have the willpower to not eat it or not drink it. I'll smell it. I'm like, come over here and eat by me so I can smell you.
Yeah, that's good. You know what? Hey, like I said, food is part of the process. But sometimes there's some foods like you remember that movie New Jack City with Chris Rock as Pookie said, "Be calling me, man. Be calling my name. Be calling me. Be calling me." And it's good, Dale. How old are your babies?
So my little girl is 7, and the big boy is 14. I also have a 27-year-old. But he's out of the house already.
Yeah, you got a grown man, you got a teenager. Remember, those teenagers got to beat them down. Beat them down.
Yep. Thankfully, he's my good one. The 14-year-old, he's good. It's the little 7-year-old that I got to worry about.
Yeah, that's she's a little princess. She's the baby of
Yes.
the house. You know,
Yeah.
she's from that shot. We have your shot to my man Joshua Simpkins coming through. He said this. He says Colette Nelson was a bodybuilder. Um, I after that, I mean, powerlifter. Yeah. Also know one lady, Hawkins. I know her name back. She also was a bodybuilding pilot. I think she's still doing powerlifting. I thought at one point I saw she had gotten renewed her pro card. I thought she could make a return to bodybuilding. I was excited about that.
Mhm.
But it looked like it's maybe just something. We are here, my man, Brown Baldy. He says this. He says, right on from the military veteran to another. Yeah, shout out to you, brother. Also, I also think you service. I said, appreciate the sacrifice you made for our country. So now the plan is to do the show in Vegas. And,
Yes.
that's a great opportunity. And what divisions you're doing? You're doing one? Are you going to double dip or you just do one?
I'm just going to stick with women's physique. My husband's trying to talk me into doing women's bodybuilding as well. Um, I feel like I just want to stick with women's physique and just get that right. Be 100% with that one. I know that he's like, it's just a couple of different poses. You can do it. I think you're fine. Um, he does talk me into doing a lot of things. So jury's still out, but I'm more leaning towards just women's physique.
Here, this is where I would say this: never put your eggs in one basket. Because
Mhm.
just saw a lady who did both physique and women's bodybuilding. She got a pro card just recently. Some do get, they might get their pro card specifically in that division, but it's always good to, as quote my great master, Ra's al Ghul, the demon's head, always be ready to surround at all time. Never give up sure footing for a killing blow. And that's the
Mhm.
thing, just a few poses. And the thing is also, as an amateur, you have to pay to get in that division. That might be a cost you may not want to pay.
Yeah, the shows are expensive. The shows
Yeah.
are very expensive. I was like, if you got that money, I mean, let's do it. But I know we ain't got that money like that.
Yeah. I tell you, I'm broke. I grew up poor, but now I'm broke. So we got here shots from a man, Brown Baldy. He says this is Brown Bowley. I think he says respect to George for giving those athletes that flower. No, not a problem, brother, not a problem. So, folks, what we're gonna do here while we got Kathy here, we're gonna jump into social media for a little bit. So, you want to follow her? Her links in the description of this live. Reach out and support if in genuine interest. But guys, I tell you this: she's a cute little Puerto Rican. I know, guys. She got a tattoo on her chest. She got look, her shoulders are out. But guys, she has a husband. He's in the Air Force. He might drop bombs on you. No strange shit. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear somebody say that a tomahawk missile came into the house because he said some weird shit to his wife. That's on you. I warned you, but you didn't listen. So, folks, we're going to jump into her social media for a bit. You want to follow her? The links are in the description. And here she is. And right here, you're doing some training. Which is your favorite training you like? Which do you feel like you prefer when you're working out?
So honestly, right now, because we've been so focused with lower legs, glutes, hammies, that is become my favorite because I know that is my problem area, and I want to make sure that it's not a problem anymore. So I say lower, even though my husband is the one who he is my trainer. I have got a coach, but they work together because he was a trainer prior. So he's the one that does all my programming. So there's no mercy when he trains me. He doesn't treat me any differently. If anything, because he knows my potential, he goes harder on me. So sometimes I don't like him because of that, but it's all coming together. So I guess I can't complain.
It's like that. You remember the Karate Kid movie where the guy says, "Sweep the leg, no mercy."
Yes.
So and the legs. I think it's an important part to build those up, especially you're a little bit on the shorter side, so you
Mhm.
want to feel more even because you want to have a good strong base. When your last show, what was critique from the judges?
So funny enough, for all three shows, the same thing. It was, we got to get those glutes and hammies up. So we've been training them hard. We've actually started training, I guess if you want to call it the wellness way, where we're doing like 3 lower days a week, and putting everything else into the other 2 days. We've kind of switched training a little bit because my coach wanted me to have a rest day after my leg day, because he knew how hard Tim was pushing me. But yeah, it was always them glutes and hammies. I'm like, damn it for them glutes and hammies.
Well, you're Puerto Rican. You got those very strong tendencies. I think, wouldn't you ever thought about, I think wellness just started when you started bodybuilding. Was that a division you were interested in?
So I was interested in it. I didn't feel like I fit anywhere else other than maybe women's bodybuilding if I got a little bit bigger. And then when I got with my first coach, that was his recommendation, was women's physique.
Yeah.
So we just went with it.
Yeah. I think everybody finds the right thing to work with their body types.
Yeah.
If you got stronger glutes and legs, you have wellness. If you are a little bit leaner, taller, I think bikini. If you have the broad, wide shoulders, that's, fitness. I mean, figure. And if you have like a very athletic build, that is physique. And then you are more fuller, have those muscle bellies. That's bodybuilding. Everybody has those different things. The toughest one out of the divisions is fitness, because you got to do all that jump around chicken sweat.
Oh, I'm not jumping around nowhere. I would look like a straight dummy rolling around. Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah. Also, so you did the universe. So I remember one year they had like 600 bikini girls. Man, that was
my
God. You were there that year? I interviewed two ladies.
That when I did the universe in 23, I swear there were 10,000 bikini girls there.
You mean there were millions of bikini girls? I interviewed two of the ladies who got the pro card that year, and I asked them how they told me. I remember a friend of mine was there because she was supporting a friend of hers, and she said, George, it was like all these bikini girls. I know how they do it. I don't know how the judges could do it. And
no, me either. It's a lot. Like, I think honestly every show between bikini and figure, but usually bikini is a great showing. I mean, there's so many there.
Well, there's a new division coming out. I'm not a fan of it particularly. Now, I've interviewed a lady who did that division, that's fit model. And I think one thing, that's the big fear with this new division is it might be more numbers, maybe more than bikini.
Wow. That's going to make for a long show. Yeah, show day.
I mean, the judges probably have to, take a bathroom break every hour, or sit there and get a catheter. So, that's your little baby here. Oh, she's so precious.
That's her.
She's trouble. I can see it.
Yeah. She's coming. I told her just before I got on, I was like, hey, I'm doing this interview. Don't come in the living room and bother me. She has come in here about 500 million times already.
Well, if she wants to come in and talk for a little bit, I don't mind. I had kids on here. She want to come in for a little bit and say hello.
If she comes back, I'll let her know.
All righty. We got here. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh, let's see. Well, see. So that's the thing about this sport: the cost, the travel, everything involved with it, and also how one thing is, my challenge about giving y'all ladies recognition for your commitment and passion and consistency for a sport, compared to where people look at it, especially when you're a woman in bodybuilding, and people go like, there's two sides. There's the side here we're seeing like, here she's trying to be all manly, get all the muscles, and that's there's some guys that are intimidated. Then the other side saying, and there's other guy who's saying, yeah, I love her big buff muscles. I wouldn't like to hold her.
Yep.
What's your thoughts, on either one of those types?
I mean, it is what it is. I've gotten the hate from the guys that say, oh, she looks like a dude. I naturally, I will tell you, I've always had a deep voice. It has gotten deeper. But I've always had a deep voice. She sounds like a man. She looks like a man. I'm like, first of all, I don't think I sound like a man. I don't think I look like a man. And maybe that's your own insecurities, because, maybe somebody, and not to say that I'm all that, because I'm not, I'm just a regular average female. You just worried that somebody like me wouldn't like you. And I wouldn't, not if you're going to have that, mentality. That's just, and if you feel good about putting other people down, you're an asshole.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
and then
folks.
I've got several people slide into my DMs asking for, can you send me a picture? Can you this? Can you that? Or they started, video chatting. And I tell my husband all the time, I'm like, someone else is sending me a video chat. He's like, just answer it. I'm like, I'm not answering nothing. I'm not entertaining these people. I'm like, no. So if you send me a video chat, I'm like, block, we're done.
Hmm.
You
Well, like I
know?
said, every woman's different. Not everybody's going to be the same type, and I think everybody has their preference. I think there's some beautiful women in the sport, and there's one lady who I'm a fan of, and you got to meet. She's my girlfriend, and that is the
I
lovely
love
Miss
her.
Andrea. Oh my God, she's so beautiful. I mean,
She is.
I'm just a fan. Where was this? When did y'all meet?
That was at one of the first women's conference. Let's see. I competed in the Iron Life in 22. I think it was in 22. It was the first women's conference in NPC all women's conference in Vegas. And that was great. She was great. Love talking to her. She was actually when she was like, if, check out women's bodybuilding, if you start getting, putting on more size, and it's coming from her. I'm like, okay, maybe I will, but I never did.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, she loves competition. She mentioned that to Ashley Jones, and Ashley, she's now number 3 in the world.
Mhm.
I think she knows her stuff. I always like to bring this out because a friend of mine, her name is Eunice. She runs her own company called Bad Rap. This weekend, she's gonna be at the Tampa Bay Pro, open up a booth. Shout out to Eunice, and she was, the 2023, she was in the at the Olympia when they had it back in Orlando, and
Mm,
she got me this issue. It's issue muscle development. It's the last issue, the first one they ever had women's bodybuilding undercover in years. I got
mm.
Muscle Mags. It used to be back then. You used to always see ladies in the cover until I didn't see much anymore. And she was talking to Andrea, and Andrea took the time out. And I always want to show this out because, like my other guy said, if you're good at something, never do it for free. And I call this my payment. When she takes the time out and she signed this for me.
Oh, nice.
I love it, and I love her. I know I sound obsessed. Maybe I actually saw her guest posing in Savannah. It was my first bodybuilding show I went to. I saw her guest posing. Just
Mhm.
she's just amazing. Like anybody else that you, as a competitor, respect or admire, either in any sports like powerlifting or bodybuilding.
I mean, I love Andrea Shaw. She is great. Of course, Sarah Sarah Villegas. I love her as well. I mean, she's done a lot for women's physique. I've met Natalia Cuejo. She's awesome as well. Um, I mean, there's too many. I follow so many. Angie Yao, too many. Love them all. They all have something that I see them and see where they've come from and what they've done and how dedicated they are. And obviously it's possible to get to that level. You just have to, you know, you have to have that commitment. You also have to have the money, but even without the money, they're a true testament that if you put your mind to something, you can become you can become that thing, that person that everyone looks up to. You know,
Yeah.
they're
It's
inspiring.
it's about also having determination and understanding to to be persistent, to be consistent, to be focused. Because most people wouldn't do what y'all do. To follow a
No.
very strict diet, to work out every day, to do so much. I mean, some people can go to the gym and do it for a few weeks, then they're home eating popcorn and watching soap operas.
Hmm.
It's just really, especially you're in the PC where you're still an amateur. You're still trying to make your bones.
Yeah.
And the cost of training, travel, expense, the presentation you have to bring, and the reward of it is at the end of the day, you get this pro card. And you say, I am IIP Pro, but then you get to be IIP Pro, you got to start all over from the bottom
All
again.
over again. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm okay with that. I'm fortunate that, like I said, I was able to get a sponsor. They're great, Gorilla Labs and Nutrition. Anything that I need from them, they never hesitate. I was also able to get a suit sponsor, which has been quite helpful because suits are ridiculously expensive. And I get a nice little discount. So if I want to rent the suit, I get to, well, not so much rent. If I have the suit that I want, she'll make it. If I send it back, then I don't have to pay anything. I like to keep my suits. So if I keep my suit, I get it at a very discounted rate.
Who's your suit designer?
Maxim Posing.
Maxim Posing. I think that I know the lady. I interviewed her. That's
It's Michelle Bogdan.
Yeah, I interviewed Michelle. Major Michelle Bogdan.
Yes.
U.S. Army. I interviewed her a while back, just a little bit after she turned
Maxim
pro.
Posing. Yes, she does a great job with the suits. They're amazing. I love them. Love them. Love them.
I know she sponsors Rashana Boswell. A lady had the pleasure of meeting myself personally.
Mm-hmm.
I know Rashana can be competing in a few weeks at the Masters Olympia. Shout out to her. I hope she does well. So, like I said, but that is the thing about, especially for your women, the cost, between, hair, makeup, jewelry, if you're in physique wellness, if you're in wellness figure or fitness, and you need a pair of high heels. I mean, it's trying to find ways how a friend told me, it's trying to find ways to steal from Peter to pay Paul.
Mm-hmm. That's true. It is true. It's still super expensive. Even with the sponsors, it's still super expensive because you've got, the entry, you've got the flights, you got the hotel, you've got lots of stuff, a lot of stuff that's got to be paid for in order to compete. So it's an expensive hobby. I think you're frozen.
Hello?
You're there now.
Yeah. I don't know. Something happened. I don't know, but as you were saying earlier, you're saying again.
I said it's expensive. It's an expensive hobby because you have so much to pay for, not just for the show stuff, but you got the travel, the hotel. I mean, it's the rental cars because we usually rent a car when we go, places. It's just there's so much. It's a very expensive hobby that I'm saving all year round just to make sure that I can make it to these shows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think you're in Florida, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think there's not that many national shows, because most of the national shows are just had the USA this past weekend. You're gonna have the USA Masters again in Vegas. Also the amateur Olympias in Vegas. There's the Team Collegiate. That was the week before. I just interviewed a gentleman who just got his pro card there. That's in Pittsburgh. North Americans, Junior Nats, Junior USA's, Nationals. There was a show that was just also same weekend. It was the Miss International, but it's a pro qualifier exclusively for women's bodybuilding. And that show is promoted by a guy whom I'm a fan of. He's the guy who came and he saved my favorite division, that's women's bodybuilding. And that is one, I'm a big fan of this gentleman because he came in when a time where this division was taking a lot of hits, few opportunities. And that's when Mr. Jake Wood, I got to shout him out anytime I say, yo, Jake, I want that money. I want that gun. I can't help it. Anytime I don't know a lot of brothers named Jake, so when I get up to say I get to. But I think one thing I wish there was, especially with organizations like NPC and IFBB, it's you athletes that we fans come to see. We buy the pay-per-views, we go to the shows. If anything, like any other sport, it should be more assistance. Like, like I know some shows will do this. Like if you win the overall and you're going to do a national qualifier, they pay for your interest fee, to do nationals. And it's lucky that what Michelle's doing, where she's, give a discount on your suit, and she's sponsoring you. But I wish it was more opportunity. But with the guys, they get a little bit more because this is truth of it. The men's division is the bottom bitch. It's the one that brings the money. If you know about pimping, the one gets attention, bring the money. Just saw Arnold just shooting up the open bodybuilding division up to $750,000, and said that no one wants to see women's physique or figure or bodybuilding, but you can dig up the money and you can push those guys up. you can't break a couple of extra $100,000 to make this more inclusive for all divisions.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It would be nice, but it's not that way now. Hopefully, maybe it'll get that way. I don't see it getting that way, but who knows? I'll be
Well,
optimistic. But until
well,
then, I got to do what I got to do to get to those shows. So,
yeah, you got to do like Rocky Balboa said. I got to do what I got to
mhm.
do. Yeah, but yeah, it's the thing about you have to have a passion for the sport because this is a sport. It's a hobby sport. If I talk to some people, make a live out of it. If you're lucky enough, if you're like Andrea, Natalia, Sarah, if you're the top upsilon competitors, you can make a living on it. But it's a
Yeah.
lot harder for the everyday, Tom, Jane, and Deacon and Mary.
Mhm. Very true.
Mhm.
It's an expensive hobby for me right now. We'll see what happens. I'm older, so I'm not holding my breath, but I'm gonna do what I can and do the best that I can. So
Well, man, that's what you say. I may be old, my feet ain't cold. That's what
yeah.
you let people know. Because that thing is, like I said, I talk to gentlemen and ladies who are 50 plus, 40 plus.
Mhm.
We do have these young kids, and then with the young kids, they want everything quick, fast, in a hurry.
Yep.
But it takes time, especially to build muscle. And
Yes.
often, most people they look at bodybuilding because the use of PEDs and performance enhancers. It's all y'all just take this and y'all just look like Arnold. No, there's
No.
more to it. There's a lot
Yeah.
more to it.
That irritates me to no end. I'm like that's if that was the case, then everybody should do it and everybody will look, amazing. But they don't see the fact that I've been eating the same meals for years now, with minimal change. I spend 2 hours in the gym 5 days a week. I wake up early when I can stay asleep to do my cardio. It's a lot. There is a lot that I have to do in order to look the way that I look.
Yeah, it's a lot. And we were talking earlier that you were out of town on a job venture. What's that job? What you've been doing and how long you been doing it?
So right now I'm in law enforcement and I've been in law enforcement for 12 years.
So you're a cop.
I am.
Uh, the police. I'm not much a fan of the law, but I would say this to you: for a cop, you are beautiful.
Thank you.
So, how long you talk crafty ladies who've been in law enforcement or work as nurses? How long have you been in law enforcement?
So I started as a civilian, working in the property room, and then I went to college, got my degree in Homeland Security, and I was like, you know what? We'll transition over. So I've been with the sheriff's office now for 12 years.
Hmm. I don't know. If I saw you chasing after me and and say, "Who's this hot buff chick?" Hey, you can rough me up, Officer James. You slap me in the back of the car. Mrs. Officer. I think it's a job. There's some stuff that's going on I've seen, but also it's kind of necessary in a way. I would say it's a bit of a necessary evil because there's things happen in the world. And we do need people to help and protect us, but also at the same time, y'all need to respect us as citizens. I see
I
some stuff
agree. I
especially
agree.
being a man of color, we're the ones
Mhm.
who usually get the hard part of it. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, doing this job, taking care of your kids, you got a man, stand by you. It's a lot for any person to do, and still to find the time to 2 hours to train, stick to a diet, being consistent. I know this time, especially when the kids are eating their little dinners, and you're saying like, "Baby, can I have a taste of that?" Say, "No,
Mhm.
mommy, aren't you all prep?" No, shut up, do that.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'm good with them. I might sneak a taste every now and then. But that's usually when I'm not if I'm in prep, there's no nothing. I stick to that prep. Off
Yeah.
season, I have a little bit of leeway. So I might, have that pizza during off season. I love pizza.
Who doesn't love it? I like it every now and then. Like this is often I ask you ladies, and it's just something. As you know, I'm a fat man. I like food. I try to cut back a little bit. I used to be a lot bigger. I was almost 500 pounds because I was taking my
Mhm.
mom for a long time. And this is reason I started this because I was taking care of her. My mother was sick for a long time,
Mhm.
and I needed something to help me out to deal with her what she was going through. And I've been a fan of bodybuilding for a long time, especially of you ladies. And I admit my crime here, Officer Deputy James. I'm a muscle person. I find y'all ladies intoxicating, exciting about y'all buff muscles. But doing this content, I get to learn stuff that most people, need to take time to educate themselves to
Mhm.
understand what it is to be a bodybuilder, any division, be it NPC, IFB, OCB, any organization.
Say that one last time.
OCB, MPC, any organization, because there's so many different organizations in bodybuilding now.
Uh-huh.
You have OCB, that's a natural
Yes.
division where they don't use performance enhancers, and you have also there's a friend of mine. She does NALBA, which is NBBA. Bodybuilding, it's a way, it's a small community, but it's
Yes.
expanded across the world.
So what was the question?
There's no questions. Me talking.
Oh, okay. I was like, did I miss something?
No,
Jesus.
you mistake. See me. I don't do a lot of questions like that. I
Okay.
don't type of person. We like to have a conversation. So
Oh,
I
got it.
say
Got it.
something.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
got it. I know.
Yeah.
I'm a little quick on the draw. Just
No,
my
you're
mother
good.
told.
I'm a little
Yeah,
slow right now. I'm still on Vegas time. I told you, I'm all fucked
yeah.
up.
Plus prep brain.
A little bit. A little bit.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that you have to have a passion for the sport and to do what y'all do,
Hmm.
especially the mindset of how women, y'all are. The purpose of women are to carry our children, to take care of our homes. Men's life is to breed, battle, and die. But then you're doing something that's not considered very feminine.
Hmm. I mean, not. It's just it's choice. It's a personal choice. Everyone has their own thing, and this is my thing. I like it. Like I said, I started off prior to my current husband. I was all about P90X and being super skinny and what I thought was socially acceptable. Um, I saw women that were stronger that had muscles. I thought it was cool. I never saw myself that way until one day I did. And I liked it. I liked the muscles. I liked being big. We were just in Vegas, this past week, and me and my friend are walking down Fremont Street, and all of a sudden you hear this guy and he was like, "Holy shit, is that a boxer?" And I was like, "Where?" But he was talking about me. And I was like, "Oh no, I'm not a boxer." I like when people look at me and they're like, "Wow, she's big." Because I'm short stature. I'm just shy of 5'1", so I'm petite and I'm walking around, especially when, you know, I'm done working out and you got that pump and you're all big and you look swole and people are like, wow, I like it. It makes me feel good. I like, I like having muscles. I like the fact that my little girl looks at me and says, "Mom's strong." I like when my son, and my husband's big. He's very muscular as well, but he'll sit there and say, um, "Hey, Tim, Mom's bigger than you." and, and I'm like, he ain't lying. I mean, he is bigger than me, but I'll feed into it. I'm like, yes, I am.
That's good that you have that support from both your husband, your children, your family members. Because I've discussed relations where, mostly, especially with your parents, if they're from another different generation, the older generation, saying like, "Oh, sweetheart, I don't like you doing that. You just don't. I'd be worried about you." Like you talked about your mother earlier,
Yeah.
or your dad or your father might be saying, "I already got a boy. I don't need another boy. You already got a brother. I don't need you to be my
Hmm.
next son." But you know what? This is about you,
Yeah.
about what you love about this sport, be it powerlifting, be it bodybuilding. It's about your process as an athlete. You are an athlete. It's about the love of it, the persistence of it, the passion of it. More people need to understand that. And if people understand that, it wouldn't be these, like I call them haters.
Hmm.
They hate, they can't hate no more. And that's the thing is, you're spending so much of your time here on something that somebody's doing. What are you doing in
Yeah.
your process? What things that you are doing to really make a difference? If you are so focused on this person, why is that so important? And like, here's the thing about haters: let them hate so much because we care so little.
Oh yeah. No, it's true. I'm like, if I've got haters, obviously I'm doing something good. You
Yeah,
know.
Cat Weir said that if you don't get 10 haters, you're not doing nothing right.
No, no, and I've got them. Like I said, I'll post videos of me working out or when I'm doing my powerlifting stuff, and it's usually the dudes. It's always guys. It's always, I would say for the most part, when I look, because I always read them, it's older guys that make comments about, my bench. She has an arch. She's this. She's that. And I'm like, fuck off. Sorry, but I mean,
That's all
literally.
right.
I'm
That's all
like,
right.
they're so annoying. So I've started like screenshotting things like when I get the comments, and I'll post them. I'm like, look what this jackass just said.
I've seen some ladies do this. One lady I follow, her name is Tina. Her name is Christina Fernandez Parks. They call her
Mhm,
Tina Trap Queen. She's an Ivy Pro physique.
mhm,
She turned pro also last year, and she posted stuff when she's dealing with people that make comments like. And she's a beautiful lady. You should. I'll send you a link. You can check her out. She's
mhm,
attractive. She's a mother of 3 kids. Nice body. And these guys come out and making comments like, yeah, 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 yeah. Dude, I mean, what is maybe my eyes are different compared to yours.
mhm,
I see a beautiful woman before me, just like I see you. And
mhm,
I don't see anything masculine. See, the thing is like this: being a man is not a physical thing; it's a state of mind. I'm a man. I know I got boobs bigger than yours, but I'm
mhm,
still a man.
mhm,
And it's just about if you focus too much on the physical stuff, like, and one thing, make sure that you are a woman is you have 3 kids, like her.
mhm.
You have 3 babies, and if that's
Yep.
not enough to prove that you're a woman, what the hell do you want?
Yeah. No, I'm quite content and secure with the way that I look. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. But I don't get off on putting people down. That's just, it's just crap. I'll sometimes go back and forth with them, but usually for the most part, I say 9 times out of 10, I don't even engage with them. I'll let them say what they need to say, and I leave it at that. On occasion, I'll get a little hair up my butt, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna right back.
Yeah. And
Like, get the
sometimes
hell
it's
off
just
my page. If you don't like me, get the hell off my page.
sometimes it's like a two kind of forms of thought. You can either do like Jay-Z to take over. A wise man told me never argue with fools because from a distance no one can tell who is who. Or you
Mhm.
do like Clint Eastwood, the outlaw Josie Wales. You live for the grudge. And
Yeah.
sometimes I can flip like that. So, and often I ask you ladies after, especially as food is very important for a bodybuilder. It's important for the process. And your last show was last year. What was that thing, Kathleen, that thing that you wanted the most, that thing that you hunger for, that thing is often, as I say, that make you stranger, but makes you stronger. Uh,
So the one thing, like, honestly, I'm a foodie. We love, if I could be like my 600-pound life, I would be. Because I honestly, we love food. We'll fly for food. We'll drive for food. We love food. But I love pizza. I grew up in New York. Good pizza. I love pizza. So that's that's what I crave all through prep. It's usually I want good pizza.
I heard New York has the best pizza. It's always been
It's
that
good.
big between New York pizza versus Chicago pizza. I remember watching a thing on Daily Show with Jon Stewart.
Mhm.
Talking about that's not pizza, that's casserole.
Yeah,
But
they're both good. I like Chicago pizza. I like New York pizza. New York pizza I lean towards just because Chicago it's thick. It's so much. You got to use a fork to eat it. That's just wrong. You don't eat pizza with a fork.
well, particularly somebody does, but I don't know. I take my pizza and I put them. I hope it's not hot. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, they
Yeah, yeah,
are.
yeah.
Yep.
My older brother, he's been gone for a while. He used to have a nickname when he was in college. He was going football for college. And you call him MacArthur, the pizza mucha. But my
Mm,
niece ate him and my uh two of my nephews on the table. She's a pizza mucha. So, but folks, we're not going to hold her too long. She just got back from a long trip. That jet lag. I never been on a plane. I don't know. I'm like Mr. T from the A Team. You got to put something in my food. Like, hey, fool, I'm not going to go on a plane. But, maybe someday I'll get the courage and go on one.
yeah.
And, this is about anybody who's sport. I respect your passion, commitment. Also, I respect your body. Like, also, pause. If I tell you have a nice body, we hold it against me. But it's about the process of athlete, especially the gains you have to make, the work you got to put in, the time you got to put in, sacrifice you make. I know you wish you could spend more time with your hubby and your kids, but you're committed to something, and it's something that it's just really just drives you.
Mm. I mean, I am. I really am fortunate enough that my family is very involved. Um, that my coworkers are just as involved. I mean, they brag on me. They know when I'm in prep. They're supportive when, it's like, hey, we're all gonna go out to eat for lunch. They don't give a crap that I've got my, Tupperware with me. They don't give me a hard time about it. But I'm fortunate enough that I get to train with my husband, so I get that time with him. When I do my posing and stuff, my little girl, she has a little posing suit, so she'll put it on and she'll pose with me. She may not be doing it right, but she'll still pose with me. It's just I have been very blessed with a super amazing support system between family, friends, and coworkers. That they understand what I'm doing. They might not be able to do it themselves, but they get it. They know that I'm passionate about it. And they've been great. I think that's probably what's helped me do so well, because I do have them behind me, supporting me.
That's good because I've known ladies that who got to sport and friendships changed. Like you
Mhm,
can't go out like every other night like you used to. Go to the club, go
mhm,
to the bar. You can't go eat here, eat there because you're on prep. The last gentleman I interviewed, his son just got married,
mhm,
and and he couldn't eat the what's there at the wedding. He couldn't eat the cake, or how the wedding give you a choice of chicken, fish, or steak. He couldn't eat
mhm.
that because he was prepping because he just got his pro card. You know, Anybody who do this sport, they have to do it for a passion. I understand the sacrifices you got to put into it, the time, the money. You know, it's something you can never get back. But if you can achieve that goal to say, you know what, I am an IB pro, sometimes it can be worth it.
Yeah, yeah. It'll be worth it. I'm, it is what it is. I'll make it what it is. you know. Like I said, it's been a great experience for me thus far. Even with the leg injury, I think that honestly showed me really who I was. That I was able to deal with that and get through it and come back from it. As bad as it was, because it was a horrible injury.
Something to test your mental, physical, and mental.
Yes.
Because I have stories of people who go to injury sometimes. Like the gentleman I talked about, he went through a lot of them. A friend of mine, he was ready to compete at Chicago last weekend, but he got sick. He had surgery, had his gallbladder removed, and I'm gonna call him later because I know he's been going through it real hard. I feel a lot for him. I call him my big brother. He's IB pro himself. And it's good that you have that support, that love
Hmm.
your kids and your man. Your family. Most people don't have that.
Yeah. It sucks. I don't understand. Because I have what I have, I can't relate to that, nor can I understand, family and friends that just toss you to the side because you're not doing what they're doing. I think that's completely unfair.
Well, that's it. Is with sometimes with people, they have their views and ideas, and if it's something that they don't see, it's what they believe in or what they think is like the standard of what's we're supposed to be society in. They
Mhm.
just easily get blown away. But if you don't support that person, you may not like what they're doing, but
Yes.
if as long as they like it and they love it, it makes them feel good. It shouldn't be a problem with you. But here's a say like this: like to quote my man Bertie Mac, if people don't like you, fuck them.
Yep.
That's it. That's all you can do. If there are people like your husband and your kids and anybody else to stand by you, those are people. Because this is bodybuilding. People say it's a sport individuals, but it's if you have a team support your coach, your friends, your family members, you're not really alone. You're an individual, but you have people that stand behind you.
Yes. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah,
No,
and
no, it's a great feeling. It is.
yeah, and also the people who don't know about the sport, I would say this: watch a live stream. Sometimes I watch a live stream. And, I hope maybe sometime I get a chance. I want to go to a show. If not this year, maybe next year. I had a situation where I had a car in the shop, and I said, "Fuck that car! I'm going to get myself another one. I'm going to save some money to the side and do that."
Yeah.
My sister gave it to me because she got a new truck, and I appreciate it. But it started giving me problems. I said, I'm not going to pay more much money into that thing, so I'm just going to save some money and do that. But I love the
Hmm.
opportunity to go meet some people, talk to you ladies. I remember I enjoyed my opportunity. I went to Savannah and I met some beautiful ladies, a couple ladies I did interviews with. and some ladies are still in contact with. Well, it's just about us loving what you do as an athlete, and just just finding what something that really makes you feel whole. It is the powerlifting, it's the bodybuilding, either one. But
Mhm.
I wish people were more open and understanding. Hey, this is how I say it like this: when we go to the shows and we see y'all on the stage, and it's it's a much pressure. We see these beautiful, buff, muscular women, and just y'all excite us. But but then this is, you got to remember, you to get there to that stage, dehydration, prep brain, you know, tired, hungry, starving. You get
Yeah.
sprayed with spray tan, cold, butt naked, it's cold as witch tits. But
Mhm.
when you get on that stage and you present your physique, and the judges see something quality about you, and your man's in the audience, he's saying, "That's my baby, that's my baby," and then you get the guy on the side say, "Yeah, she's a nice short stack. Hey, that's my wife. That's my wife." You know, but it's good that you found something about the sport that you love,
Yeah.
and it has really has affected your life in a positive way. There are also
Mhm.
negatives to it. There are also, like anything, there's always going to be negatives to it, but sometimes the positive will outweigh those.
Yeah. That is true. And I've had a lot more positives than I have had negatives. So like I said, we'll just keep riding this wave and see where it takes me.
Yeah, and it's good that you have a sponsorship that helps you, because I think a lot of competitors can use that, because that helps to save the cost here and there. If
Mhm.
you if folks, if you're interested in sponsoring her, reach out with genuine interest. Don't be that weird guy. Don't be a guy say, "Yeah, I am on me. I seen you a little weekend. I mean, like your videos, your pics." No, stop that, you sick freak. This is what we're saying. Mrs. Officer James, we are very
Mm.
interested in you, about your story and your life, being for the military, working in the law enforcement community. We're looking to sponsor athletes and help them reach their goals. So, if this is something that you might be considering in your future and working with us, we'd like to work with you. We like to understand that there must be even a give and take, and maybe we can form a great business and also personal relationship in the future. So, man, let
Mhm.
us know if it's something that works with you in your process as a bodybuilder, and we're happy to help you.
That's the way to do it.
Sign the contract, baby. That's well, I wish there was more people to give that opportunity, because I think for the women it's a lot tougher, compared to the men. Unless you are, as I call them, the TNA divisions, that's wellness and bikini.
Yeah.
They get more attention because tits and ass. You know, like I
They
say, hey,
do.
I can't help it. I used to work I used to work in a gentleman's club, or if in the hood, the booty club, and that's how you make your money sometimes. But I think y'all ladies are beautiful. Y'all amazing. Y'all determined.
Thank
Y'all
you.
passionate, and I respect what y'all do. I would say this: keep doing you, and just be the best you can be. That's all you can do.
Yep. That's all I'm gonna be. That's all I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Yeah. So, folks, we're not gonna hold much too long. So again, she just got off a plane. She's tired. She's hungry. She got kids at the house. One's been in and out bothering her. I like to thank my man Joshua Simpkins coming through. My man Brown Baldy for coming through. Anybody who watched this live, comment, subscribe, follow us on social media. Support these lovely men and women in sport of bodybuilding. They can use it. But please be genuine in your support. Don't be an asshole. Don't be a hater. Don't be a sick freak. Because I know you get more. This I say like this: you get more with a silk glove than an iron fist. I know what you're doing with that iron fist, because I want to get. So, ma'am, you want to say a shout to anybody while you got you here?
Um, I guess just a shout out to, like I said, my family, my friends, my coworkers, everyone that's been there for me from the very beginning. Especially my husband, who is literally he is my biggest fan, my biggest cheerleader. He's great. He will stop everything that he's doing just to make sure that my training gets done, that my prep gets done. I mean, he's gets on my nerves every once in a while, but without him, it would be extremely difficult.
Yeah, he's like, tell me right now, stand by your man. Because he's your man. You're his woman. You're his man. That's good. And I think that's very important, especially with your sport. Because I know quite a few ladies who don't have that. You know, they might have family, but they don't talk to them. They were in relationships and broke up. I know a couple of ladies told me that they got divorced because they got into bodybuilding.
Oh
Because the
Lord,
husband,
no.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you can't love that person because they're changing themselves, then what kind of person are you? You know, I've never
Yeah.
been married. I never been. Truthfully, I never been in relationships. I had relations, but you know, if you respect that person, you love that person, and even they're doing something that you may not like, as long as it makes them feel good and make you feel happy,
Yeah.
you should love it. You know, if not, then you know, again, fuck them.
Yep. I agree.
So, folks, I appreciate your time. Can you believe, folks? This is the last Saturday of July. I mean, God, what? What? I'm going like this. It seemed like we just started 2025.
This year's
It
gone by
used,
quick.
yeah, maybe just because we're getting older. It used to be birthdays and Christmas seemed like took ever to come. It seemed like it's just around the corner.
Correct.
Yeah, but you know what, folks? I hope you enjoy the rest of y'all weekend. We got, I said next weekend I'm gonna do a live. My Must Talk Monday. We're gonna discuss some stuff. This is upcoming shows. Also got some big news to give y'all. So I hope y'all there to catch it. Follow the lovely Mrs. James on her social media platform. We got Jamie interested. She is a cop, guys. She can cook it like, hey, who's that? You know, you might get a knock saying, hey, we saw you sending some very aversive stuff to a lady here. And yeah, so I think you better come with us, sir. You know, we're gonna, but the thing is, some guys, they, uh,
They
are
don't care.
just,
Just yeah. I'm just like, don't be a perv, please.
yeah, like the quote from the movie, The Godfather: "The animals anyway, so let them lose their soul."
Yes.
So, folks, I
Good one.
appreciate my guests that were here. I appreciate the lovely Mrs. Kathleen James. And oh no, he has to say this. He says this. And Kathleen, I want to tell you, even though you're a cop, you are beautiful. I'm sorry about him. I have to see specialists about him. I don't know why, but I feel like something he could preach me. So, so thank you. Best of luck, and I hope this will be your year.
Thank you. I hope so too.
All right, you're welcome. Anyway, folks, I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Tomorrow's Sunday, you got to go back to work on Monday. I don't have to worry about that. I don't have a job. But I appreciate all y'all who are here and checking out my channel. And also, shout out to, again, the lovely Mrs. James. Best of luck to her in her attempt to get a pro card. I hope she does it and hope you get it soon. So, folks, again, thank you, my guests, and thank you all who are here. Watch this video. Share, comment, like, subscribe. Reach out in genuine interest. Don't be that guy. She's a cop. Anyway, this man always George Page, aka the Emperor of Peanut Butter Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I am out. Good night, good luck, and God bless.
Thank you.
You're welcome.